It's delicious. I love this pesto so much.
If you want to see subtitles on the YouTube recording of this class, click the settings icon on the bottom right corner. Then click Subtitles, English Auto-Generated, click Subtitles again, then Auto-Translate, and select your language.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Lauren and I'm here at the Essex kitchen inside the historic Essex Market, and this is our Fresh Bites at Home series. We're here every Wednesday at 11 doing a different live recipe demonstration using all the fresh fruits and vegetables that you can find right here at Essex Market. And you can find all the recipes and an upcoming list of online events at our website, essexmarket.nyc/freshbites. I'm live on Zoom and also here on Instagram Live, so hello to everyone joining us from Instagram Live. Thank you for being here. There'll be recordings of this video and all the online classes that we're doing on our YouTube channel as well. So today we're going to be making a zucchini ribbon with almond pesto. So it sounds very highbrow, but this is a super simple recipe. It's an amazing way to use all of the fresh summer squash that's coming into season right now. And remember, because our squash is in season, it is going to be the most nutritious, it's going to taste amazing, and not only that, it's going to be the most affordable. So I'll go through our ingredients and then I'll just show you the different techniques we're going to be using to make our ribbons. So we're making an almond pesto with this recipe. So I have some beautiful roasted almonds, no salt because we're going to be adding our own salt to this recipe. A pesto is traditionally made with pine nuts and basil. So we're doing kind of a riff on that. We're using almonds, which are definitely a lot less expensive than pine nuts, and they just have an amazing nutty flavor. We're going to use some freshly grated parm. I got this at our cheesemonger Formaggio Essex. And I highly recommend that you think about buying whole blocks of parm. You know, this is the little nub I have left over. You can find pre-grated Parmesan cheese at a lot of grocery stores, but they have to add certain preservatives in order for it to remain in this sort of shredded form. So really, you can keep one of these blocks in your fridge for weeks at a time and then grate it as needed. And if the block ends up getting super hard, it's an amazing thing to add when you're making any sort of soup, stew, even a tomato sauce for pasta, because it just melts away and adds an amazing richness to any sort of dish. So think about investing in this. We're going to use just 1 clove of garlic here. And then I have some optional ingredients. If you like your food a little bit spicy, these are some red pepper flakes. We could go ahead and add those to our pesto. And then sometimes I find that pestos need a little bit of brightness. They can be a little bit heavy with that cheese, the fat from the nuts. And so I might end up adding a little bit of lemon juice to give it a little extra oomph. So that's going to be our pesto, but let's go ahead and prepare our summer squash or our zucchini, so that's ready to go. So you have 2 options. Our goal is to make these ribbons, so very thin strips of zucchini. And if we were at a cooking school or a fancy restaurant, they might break out this tool, which is a mandolin. You know, they're very inexpensive to buy. They have a very sharp blade, and you would run your zucchini down the mandolin. These give me the heebie-jeebies. There's just something about my hand being so close to that blade that I'm not into. So what I've always done is just use a peeler. And I have this nice sort of wider mouth peeler here. And so I'm just simply going to run the peeler down the zucchini. And we're just looking for this kind of thin strip. And so obviously the first strip is going to be the skin, which we definitely want to eat. And then after that, you're going to get these beautiful ribbons that are white and then have this gradient to the dark green color, which is just amazing. And you basically just keep doing that until you reach so many seeds in the center that it's becoming difficult to get nice long strips. But we want to use as much of the vegetable as possible, of course. And those seeds are giving us tons of added fiber, so we want to get a few of them at least. and then I just rotate the zucchini so I'm working on the other side. And that's how I'm gonna get those really beautiful wide ribbons. So this just takes a few minutes. You know, you can make this salad as big or as small as you want. I'm gonna be using 4 zucchini today. And if you happen to have the yellow summer squash on hand, that works perfectly well too. Even a combination can be really nice because the colors are just so beautiful. So I'm just kind of getting the bottom of my zucchini, and then once it does that, I give up and put that to the side. So I've already done that process for our 3 other zucchini. So I have my big bowl of beautiful ribbons here. So I'm just gonna get these guys in there. And then we can set that to the side. For anyone that's just joining us, we are doing a zucchini ribbon with almond pesto recipe. So we've just used a simple, home peeler to create these beautiful thin strips of zucchini. And now we're gonna move on to our almond pesto. This is gonna come together super fast. So we have 4 zucchinis that we already worked into ribbons here. And now I have a small food processor. I've also made this recipe when I haven't been at home at someone else's house, and I've just chopped everything up really small, and that works perfectly well too. So if you don't have a food processor, don't worry about it, but I'm gonna demonstrate how it would work here. So I have a half a cup of those almonds. Remember, those almonds have been roasted, and roasting our nuts is what's gonna add so much extra flavor because it brings out all their natural oils. I bought these as roasted unsalted almonds from our grocer, but you could also just stick yours in a 375-degree oven for 8 or so minutes until they just get a bit of that nuttiness. And then I have about a 1/4 cup of our fresh Parmesan cheese that we grated ourselves. Super important to do it yourself. And then I find with garlic, I like to chop it up myself before putting it in the food processor because it just, I find that it doesn't ever get totally chopped up when I put it in the processor directly. And then once again, I forgot a knife, so just give me 1 sec. All right, knife ready to go. So I'm going to just peel my garlic by whacking it, and that just helps sort of break up the clove a little bit, and I get all of that skin off. All right, so there we go. Get that off my hands, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a rough chop. It doesn't have to be perfectly minced or cut small, it just needs a little bit of chopping here. All right. So there's our 1 clove of garlic. Raw garlic almost has this spicy flavor. It's really pleasant. I really enjoy it in recipes, so hopefully you're the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn our food processor on, so it's gonna be a little loud, forgive me. And what we're looking for here is we're gonna just need to break everything up and get those nuts chopped up, and then we're gonna stream in some olive oil. So let me run this for a minute while everything gets chopped up. All right. So now you can see, I'm gonna pull a little bit out, all of our nuts, garlic, Parmesan cheese has gotten pulsed up into tiny bits. We're here making an almond pesto to go with our zucchini ribbons, which are these beautiful thin strips of zucchini that we put together using a peeler. So now that this is all finely chopped up, I'm gonna go ahead and stream in my olive oil. So a nice way to do it is to have the food processor run and slowly pour in the olive oil. That way we know it's all mixing really evenly. So I'm gonna need 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So I have my little measure right here. We're gonna get tons of those heart healthy benefits from using the extra virgin olive oil, especially because we're consuming it raw. That's the way that you're able to really absorb all those antioxidants. So once again, I'm gonna turn this on. And now I'm gonna just carefully stream in this olive oil. All right, it's almost like a savory nut butter, I'm realizing. So it's really got the texture of that. So it's looking like a coarse almond butter. It smells great. Let me actually just give it a little bit of taste. This is what I'm gonna figure out if we're gonna need any extra salt. Our Parmesan cheese is already a quite salty cheese. So we don't wanna add too much until we give it a taste, and then maybe we'll also do some of that lemon juice. Oh, I mean, I love anything with nuts, so it's a given that I'm gonna love this, but I'm always just so pleasantly surprised by the flavor. So I do want some of that freshness. The garlic is lovely, but it is strong, so I'm gonna go ahead and just juice about a quarter of this lemon in to start. I don't even know that it really needs any salt. I think I'm gonna just leave it as is, and then when we toss it with our zucchini, I'll taste it again and see if it needs any additional salt or a little bit more lemon juice. So let's just go ahead and pulse that one more time to incorporate the lemon, and then we're just gonna put it all together. Okay, beautiful. So the way I like to do this is I get a clean bowl, and I like to put the pesto into this bowl. Our zucchini strips are very, I was gonna say sensitive, but they'll break apart easily if we're to handle them too roughly. So I just wanna make this as easy as possible to do like a gentle stir with our recipe, because those ribbons, excuse me, we work so hard to get those ribbons looking nice. I don't want them to just get all crushed apart. So I scoop my pesto in here. And if you wanted to go a little more traditional and add a fresh herb to your pesto, that would be lovely as well. Some basil, some parsley. All right, so I'm just sort of spreading it up the sides of the bowl. And again, that's gonna just help the different pieces of zucchini get coated. So we're working on our zucchini ribbons with almond pesto recipe. These are the zucchini ribbons that we already made. They're just thin strips of green summer squash that we used just using a home peeler, very easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my zucchini strips in there. And sometimes I like to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on this. My bowl's getting kind of full there, so let's stop there. But I like to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil at the beginning just because the pesto is a little bit thick, and the olive oil is gonna help loosen it up and get it nicely coated on all the pieces of our zucchini. So again, just very gently stirring this around. And we just want, ideally, all of our pieces of zucchini to be coated with some of that pesto. And as you're going, if you're seeing things are like a little stickier than you want, just add a little bit more olive oil and it will all come together. This is a beautiful fresh recipe. You can see it's come together in, what, 15 minutes just about? Just a really nice thing to have as a side, you know, with a piece of fish or chicken, whatever you're working with. So I'm gonna add the rest of my strips and a little more olive oil just to get this going. And then we'll give it a taste. So you can find all of the different recipes we're doing. We got tons of beautiful summer recipes that are up on our website, essexmarket.nyc/freshbites. And I'm just working my way through them every week, doing a different recipe here for you live, and then we're putting it on our YouTube channel. So if you wanna go ahead and see how those are all made. And all of our recipes can be made for about $2 a portion or less. So we're really trying to make things, you know, affordable for folks and finding new ways that you can make fresh fruits and vegetables at home without spending a ton of money. Okay, so it's coming together. I'm gonna just add a little bit more olive oil. I might have gotten a little heavy-handed with our Parmesan cheese in the blender, and so that's why it's extra thick today. So don't freak out, we're just marinating essentially our pieces of zucchini here. I'll do another little squirt of lemon juice and then we'll give it a taste. And if you guys have any questions, just let us know on Instagram Live or on Zoom. I'm happy to answer anything. But as you can see, this recipe is pretty quick to come together. If you don't have almonds at home, any nut would work. Walnuts are another big favorite of mine. So just go ahead and be flexible, work with what you got. We always used to say at the class that at home you're your own chef, so you can do it as what sounds good to you. Just doing another little squeeze of lemon juice to brighten it up. Give it one more stir and then I'll give it a taste. It's a great recipe to try for you and your family, really something different. You don't see a whole lot of raw squash recipes. So here's our zucchini ribbons with almond pesto. I hope you guys enjoyed watching our short video today. Thanks so much for joining us. And remember, you can find this recipe on our website. And we'll be here next Wednesday again at 11 a.m. doing another recipe with the fresh fruits and vegetables from Essex Market. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'll see you next time.